Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for the March 2026 Creative Memories Virtual Crop. After last month, I was determined to get through these sketches a little bit quicker. We are going to be busting out a lot of mats this month, which makes things so much easier. And I also will be using my new ruler that fits over our 13 by 13 cutting mat, and you will see why here right away at the first sketch. So thank you so much to all of you who voted on my community tab for my Creative Pages with Catherine YouTube channel here. Every month, the Monday before the virtual crop, I put up a poll to see which collections you would like to see the most. Turned out that we had a collection this month that got 0 votes, so I have plugged in a different collection that just spoke to me with one of the layouts. So can't wait for you all to see it. Let me switch things over so we can take a look at what we'll be doing here. Oops, of course, knocking over things as I am switching over here, but we're still going to get it done. One of the things I wanted to mention that I'm not sure if you all know is available is our virtual crop tracker. Now, you can print out your own virtual crop tracker. There is a link in the Creative Memories virtual crop group on Facebook. However, this year they did put out this. It comes in a nice little bag. It's a really super thick paper that they've printed this on, and they have not one, not two, but 3 sheets of stickers that come with this set. And you can get it right now. It's marked down to $5. I mean, really, it's a steal. And especially if you're just starting out your virtual crop journey for this year, it's a great way to track. Otherwise, you can color in each one of these. I've done this, and it's a little tedious sometimes to color them in, but I'm going to show you a real quick close-up of the stickers you get because I haven't necessarily introduced it. I didn't actually have mine with the free shipping, and things usually are a little bit slower getting out of the warehouse, so mine has arrived. I have caught up my tracker. I added a little extra sticker saying 2026 will be good. We're going to get through every month this year again. But I wanted to show you really for your $5, you are getting your money's worth. And if you are ordering one of our new 12-inch trimmers, you know, $5 really isn't that much. It's less than a coffee or tea or cold beverage at one of your local coffee shops or even almost some of the gas stations now. Treat yourself to a little bit of fun, and honestly, pulling those little stickers is satisfying, just putting those down instead of having to sit there and color in every single little shutter petal, if you will. Okay, I am going to adjust my ruler here a second. Not that I need to, because I still have to show you this. And for our first sketch, I am working with the Springtime Soiree collection. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot this month on my sketch. I really did keep it simple this month, and I'm looking forward to showing you all what I did. Now here is my mat, my 13 by 13 cutting mat. I'll show you at the end. I have a little bit of drawer liner underneath it, so mine does sit up just a little bit taller, but it also keeps it from sliding around on my desk, which is always a plus. You know, you don't want your stuff scooching all over your desk either. And let me make sure I have this lined up. Okay, for our first piece that we're going to be putting down on here, you can see we have, it's kind of like a double border. And in the one that they showed, they actually layered 2 borders that they punched. Well, I don't think I actually pulled out one punch this month, honestly. It's one of those things that's kind of rare for me, but I just really wanted to use what was available. And this is something, I had a couple of strips left over, already pre-cut in my stash for this collection. I think I had taken this piece of paper before, the one that has these purple ice lavendery florals on the back of it, and it has these really pretty blooms. There is another, here's what it looks like. So there is another piece you could cut out and use on your page as well. You could use the green with the two similar lines on either side as well, and you could easily use maybe the green on the bottom and the yellow flowers on the top. But I actually must have used the green with the purple flowers the last time because I had extra of this. So this is what I'm using up, and I am setting my ruler right at 1 5/8. I know that's a little bit of an unusual measurement, especially for me. I tend to like to work in the quarters and the halves a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and place this down. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it down from the top also, because I have another piece and I've already put a little bit of tape runner on it, believe it or not. I know, I was just really wanting to be a little bit more set this month. So let's see, where's 1 5/8? So I'm going to actually turn it upside down because it's easier to find the 5/8 here. So I'm just going to do it this way and it's going to be okay. And one of the other things I am doing is there is a lavender line, and then there's also a beigey khaki line, if you will, on this paper. And I'm putting it where both purple lines are coming towards the center of the page. The beige ones are going out towards the top and bottom. Now I can set this aside for right now. I will use it again because it's just gonna be that kind of month. We're gonna be measuring a little bit more, but no punches, and it's gonna come together pretty quickly. So just bear with me here. Hang on, I've got to get my border mat straightened out a little bit here. And I have 3 mats from our mat pack. We're gonna actually use 6 mats across both pages. And so I have this one that has our yellow plaid, and you'll see I've already added a little bit of foam tape to this one. I'm using our new thin foam tape that Creative Memories came out with recently, and I have a little pack of our thin foam squares as well. With my thin foam tape, I have my regular foam squares here as well, but I'm trying to keep them separate. You know, it's one of those things where we have to try. There are also, so there are 2 of these yellow plaid mats. We're using both of those. We're using both of the lime or lighter green mats, and then there's also 2 of the darker green plaids. So we bloom where you are planted, and one that has a little purple flower in each corner. I do need to tape under these real quick. And we are going to get these placed down next. Okay. And then I am specifically putting my blooms into the inner track here, if you will. Let's see, here's my 6, 1, 2, 3 1/4 is where I want to line this up. And I've got 2 3/4 on the bottom of my measurement. So it's 9 1/4. I think I'm so used to seeing the 0 and the 0 centering ruler in the middle instead of a 6. That's why I said 3 1/4, because it's a 6 1/2 mat. It's 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. And then this one will go at 3 1/4 here. Is that going to line me up? Nope. Did I go off on the other one? Here's a 6, 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, I do need the 2 3/4 here. Okay, because I want to center these on my page. And with this one, we're having this bottom right one show versus the top left one. I'm going to go ahead and pull the backing off of my foam tape. And I will get this one placed down in the center here. So that way it's popped up just enough to get our photos underneath. And I'm looking here, I do have my 4 and my 8 line that I'm lining it up on. And I just kind of eyeballed that one a little bit more. I could have pulled my ruler back out, but I didn't. So let me grab my two borders. These are layered borders that come with this collection with our Springtime Soiree. And I'm going to add just a little bit of our repositionable tape runner because I don't trust myself to go within the lines on this one, especially while being live and, you know, especially after last month, you just never know what might come about. So I'm using the purple swirly one. And again, this is partially why I put the beige on the bottom, because it wasn't really a color that was anywhere else on the page, but the purple does show on the page as well. And then this little daisy one has some dots behind it, but I think it's going to be okay once we actually have it on the page. So here we go. I'm just layering this one up above, again covering up that little beige line that was on here. And you know what, I don't think my measurement was right, because I was going to put this up here. I actually was going to have my lines above and below. Hang on, because it's closer. Well, you know what, it's okay. I think it's pretty showing the plaid above and below, and we're just going to go with it. Just goes to show we are definitely keeping things quick and easy this month. I have a sticker that says Find Joy, and the little things that has some daisies on it, and at least I think these are daisies. If not, that's what I'm going to call them. And then I'm going to add just this little small one that I also found in our sticker pack as well. And let's see here. I feel like we are going to need to pop it up because we have this border here that's already layered. So let's go ahead and grab some of our regular foam squares. Remember, we used the thin foam tape. We're going to use the regular foam squares on our stickers here, just to make sure that they are on par with what our border is. And you know what, I'm actually going to go ahead and use a little bit of the powder as well, just so it doesn't stick to our border so much. And I know some people put the foam squares on and then powder it, but I usually wait and I pull off the stick after I powder it, just so my foam squares stay sticky and my sticker isn't so sticky. Is that the right way to say it? Let's hope so. All right, so I'm just gonna put this one, I'm kind of gonna, hey, that actually looks pretty good, framed out by that little yellow flower here. So we're gonna go ahead and add that right there, and I'm gonna hold it up for you all. This is the left side of my page, and that is now complete. Can you believe it? How long have I been on for? Maybe 10 minutes at the most. And I also talked about that other piece. So that left side is done. The right side I'm going to bring in, because we're going to do essentially the same thing. I don't want to put my left side too far, because I'm going to have to make sure I put my lines at the same point. Oh, I do have a quick comment. Okay, thank you, Troy. Thanks for joining me and watching. I can actually check comments now with this new software, which is nice. My old one let me do it as I was going to, but now I had to figure out a small hack to work around it, but we've got it. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of regular tape runner going down my strips. I have my mats again, and then we're going to use the same borders, because you do get 2 of each of the borders in your collection with those layered borders. These are the mats. Now I know my bicycle is going to be sideways, but remember, this is a photo mat for me, so we're going to be covering it up. I already have my foam tape on that, and I'm going to hold on to put it on my 2 darker green mats. There's Beauty and Everything, and this one has just some regular journaling spots. So I'll talk about photos at the end. I'm going to put those there. We are going to pull back out the ruler, and I'm going to have to scoot over my border mat so I can fit my ruler off the edge of my mat here. I feel like that gives me a little, let's go with the top first, since I'd already flipped it. It came back to me flipped. And now, of course, I've knocked my paper, so give me just a moment here to fix this. 1 5/8 again, and then I will double check it when I am going to gently place this, put my beige going up again. Here we go. Oops. There's that. Where's my other paper is here. I'm going to bring that in, and yep. All right. That just goes to show how much easier it is to use this tool. I think even than my other zero centering ruler. You know how much I love the zero centering ruler. It made my top 3 list for the CM Creative crew showing our favorite tools. But this one, I think it might be on par with that, because it also does have the 0 in the center, but it also has, I think it's just the markings are just a little bit clearer and easier to read on this one. Super, super nice. Okay, so now we can put our tape runner on these two real quick here. And we'll get our borders down in just a moment too. I just need to clear up my desk here a little bit, move this back over. Make sure I get these in the spots that I had kind of targeted for them. So 1 2 3 1/4 is 9 1/4 again. 2 3/4 from the bottom. And then I have to remember my 2 3/4 from the top over here when I'm centering these on my mat. So that's, you want to look for that 2 3/4 and 9 1/4. Yep. Centered on that. Let me pull my thin foam tape backings here and we'll get these going again. Now, one of the other things I did do was I don't want to say I cheated, but I made life easier for myself. I actually did lay my ruler down, and I knew I had essentially 3 inches. I measured this space, so that way I know that when I put my foam tape onto my mat, it's not going to hit either one of these mats. Okay, watching your sight line coming down from the 4 and the 8, and lining it up with the other 2. There we go. Okay, next comes our layered borders again with our repositionable tape. And here's that. And our swirls going on the bottom again, covering up the beige one more time here. And our daisies are going to go across the top. Okay, so springy. This one is just, it's different than our spring equinox, that's for sure. Okay, the stickers I pulled for this side, I have our wagon, I have our take a walk in the garden, and I have a couple of just loose daisies here, and we're gonna have to figure out how to work these in now that I switched up where I put my things. I'm going to layer our 3 daisies together to create a little bit of a cluster here. And these are going to go, how's about just kind of tucking into our border a little bit, coming up from the side here, landing on our little plaid in the bottom. I'm going to put our take a walk in the garden on a couple of our thin foam squares. Remember I said I pulled these because then that also will create a similar sightline. I know we use the regular ones on our other one, but I think that one is kind of more of our pronounced title, and it also is closer to, I don't know why the daisies look a little bit more up than the swirls. So, okay, pulling my backings off of here if I can get it. There we go. Oops, I forgot to do my, I actually don't think I need the foam tape, or I'm sorry, the powder tool on this one because it's kind of going in between. So it's going sort of under the swirl. I'm going to cover up part of the stems, especially the bottoms, which didn't look quite super tidy. And so it's fitting nice and neat underneath our swirls, but over our daisies. And then we're going to have our little wagon here at the bottom. We'll make sure it doesn't have a punch out on it. Sometimes some of the stickers do. And this one is just going to come in. Let's see. I feel like I want this over our swirl. So I think that's where it's going to go. Is we're going to line up the bottom of the wagon over here. So I actually am going to need a couple of foam squares at the top and the bottom. So I need 2 on the wheels. And this is the regular foam squares again because we're putting it over the bumped up border this time. So there's going to be things at different levels here. Okay, I need one underneath my top of my flowers. Let's use this size here. Going at an angle, and I'm going to put one more small one. I need to cut this in half to go up by my handle. Here we go. And then I will check comments in just a moment as soon as I get this page done. It's easier, and I think it makes it easier when people watch the replay. So just a moment here for this one. And so it's kind of almost like a cheater pop-up. We're using our border to help us pop up our sticker a bit here. And I'm just covering up the one yellow flower that was right there, but it looks like the greenery adds to our greenery from our wagon. So, right side of our page is done here. There is the close-up, and there is the close-up of my stickers at the bottom, so you can see. Let's see if you can see all the bump outs. There you go. Just to give you all a closer look at that, let me bring in both sides of the page. I don't want to move my, well, I guess I can show you on my border mat how I do have it when I bring in both sides, and then I'm going to have to bring it back in for the next one anyway. So this is what I use under my mat. It's just one of those simple drawer liners you can get even at the Dollar Tree, and it just helps keep my mat from scooting all over my table. It's a little tip I picked up a long time ago. Okay. So let's see, left side of the page, and then I will check Troy's question here, and then we'll talk about, let's see, what do I mean if I want to use both sides of a mat? Now I'm not sure when I talked about using both sides of a mat. Which mat? Maybe you can help me clarify which mat, and I want to be able to tuck my photos under. When I was talking about cutting this. So if you cut that, you can use both pieces of the mat on different layouts. It's just one of those things where if you would rather journal than add a photo, but also I'm going to show you because we can use this in 2 ways. All right, so let me add some 4x6 photos on here. I think that's what you were asking anyways. I think I got it. I think I remember what I was talking about there. It's one of those things where it's harder to try to check and read and put a layout together, which is partially why I wait. So here's 4x6 photos going on our page, and then I'm going to show you with the last one a little hack you can do. I guess it's a hack, I don't know. So one of those things where hack gets overused a little bit sometimes too. Maybe. So here's our 4x6 photos coming in. So you will see maybe just a little bit of the purple up and down here. You can easily add an extra sticker if you don't like that. When you go to finish it off, there are other smaller flowers that you can use to accent some of your photos as well. And then, okay, so on this end, over here, you can either add a 4x6 photo, or how's about making use of one of your journal boxes. So you can put in a 4x3 photo and journal, and you can either do it on the top or on the bottom. You could probably also, because these are 4.5 by 6.5 mats, get away with using a, where is it? I need to find one. Here, a 4x4. You could probably also get away with using a 4x4. You kind of would probably have to frame it out a little bit differently of what you want with the 4x4 and not stay completely on the mat. But if you have your 4x3, you can see where that easily gets nice and framed out, and you can still do your journaling in the other part. So hopefully that answered your question. Definitely you have some options. And I mean, you could technically do the same thing with this one, but it's a little harder to write on something that's popped up. So it just seems easier to do it on the one that's over here at the far right. Okay, let's get this one moving out of the way and we'll move on to layout number 2. All right. Whew. I feel like this is definitely more of a Catherine month, I guess. Last month was definitely harder for me. Okay. Okay, yes. Yeah, the bicycle is super cute, Troy, I agree. And you could, you could easily use that on any page that you would like. You just have to figure out what you want. For me, I was going more for the plaid along the outsides. So that way all of our photos, when they go on the page, they have a little bit more of a cohesive look to them. Okay. Definitely color is definitely one of my things. It's one of those things where people have watched my channel for a little bit are probably tired of hearing me talk about color, but it's just so important to me. I think maybe it just carries over from my being a chef. All right, let's start with sketch number 2 now. And this is the collection I added when we didn't get any votes for the Legacy of Love. That was the other one that was on the poll this month. Again, you can see I have kind of maybe just a little bit here. I am using both sides of my paper and we're using up some scraps this way. So I need to get my cutting mat back out because again, I do need to line this up because it looks better a certain way. You know what, I'm not even sure I remember to show you all which paper I used for the base on my last one. I'm sorry about that. I can bring it back in a moment and just show you the back side. And then I'll show you the front and back of this other one. I think I just got so excited to get on with the sketches here. So I had the purple plaid fronted paper. It's the one with the colorful tiles on the back from Springtime Soiree. I don't know where I came up with Springside. It's spring must be on the brain. Okay. From Tropical Garden. It's the one with the green waves on the back of it, and I am using the kind of that deep orchid color with the flowers going up towards and through the top of my page. Here we go. And then I took the flamingo paper and we're using both sides of it because I thought it just worked out really well. This is a 9x9 square of the flamingo paper, and we are going to be using the green side first to highlight it. So these are the scraps that I cut when I did the that 9x9 square. You're going to, I think it's 9x3 essentially, and this is going to come out to the side, and then this is the other scrap that was a 12-inch scrap. I cut this one down to 9 3/4, and then I cut it in half, essentially at 1.5 inches. So we do have a little bit of overlap on this one, and it's up to you if you want to go ahead and cut that one down to 1.5 inches and then use the other piece on the other side because we are essentially mimicking, or this one is more of a, what I call the mirroring when I made it into the 2-page layout this time. I want to go 3/4 of an inch from the edge of my page this time. It just is what worked with that 9-inch margin for me. So my measurements are slightly different than what is actually on the sketch. Let's bring this in 3/4 of an inch. And this one's kind of easier to tell at the top and bottom. You just have to slide it over, and you can use the measurements on your mat as well. In fact, I'm going a little bit too far, so here we go. So 3/4 and 3/4, and then I do want to center this. So this is also the benefit of having the 0, that we know this is 9 inches, so what do I need? 4.5. 4.5 from the top and 4.5 from the bottom here. Going straight, and here we go. So placement of that one as well, but I forgot I wanted to place these underneath. So this is okay. Oops, I'm a little bit high. Sorry about that. I can scoot down just a hair. Let me fix that real quick. Sorry about that. I should have checked that right when I brought it back in. Okay, so 3/4 of an inch is going to be, we can just go across again, and I'll just get my multi-purpose tool out to help me get this underneath, because I wanted more of this line to be showing at the edge of the paper than the other ones, although all of our lines eventually go the same direction on our page. There's 3/4 there, there's 3/4 there. Let me see if I can actually maneuver this. Nope. Let's see. There we go. Oh, and of course I just moved the entire paper. So much for that. That's lined up, that's still lined up, that's nice. So I don't have to worry as much about that. And well, I have that one, so I'm just going to work off of this one. So much for having the 3/4 of an inch. We're going to have way more than 3/4 of an inch. We're lining this one up with this one because we know this one is even. And, oh, I know, I wanted the 3/4 of an inch showing. Okay. I would hope if I actually checked my notes a little bit closer. It's been that kind of a day. A little bit. Not too much. Definitely not as much as like on the last live stream, that's for sure. Okay, this is going across my page here. Whew. I have to take a little bit to get myself sorted out there because I was trying to line it up at the corners here. It's always harder to see the top corner than the bottom when you're working away from yourself a little bit. There we go. There's our bottom one. That went much quicker and easier. And then I do want the 9x9 flamingo just in 3/4 of an inch as well. So let me straighten this out a hair here. And I only want 3/4 of an inch of the edge of my green showing as well. So that should be 1.5 on my ruler here. And there's 1.5, and there is 1.5 at the top and bottom, and I can see my green line is looking good as well. And, oh, no, you know what? That's where I messed up. Okay. Alright. I knew there was something. Well, this is what I get. I designed these last night. And I forgot that's what I was going to do. It's like I have it all drawn out, but this is actually going to be extending from over instead of under, I think. Or is it going to come out from here? Okay, it's going to come out from under. Alright. So I do need this 3/4 of an inch beyond because I want a 3/4 inch margin all around my 9-inch square. That's what the deal was. So if I had actually read my thing correctly, then I would have known. And of course I'm working at the end that doesn't have as many lines. this over here, and I need 3/4 from the top here. So the top of this line is at the half, so I have 1, and here's 3/4. Okay. So essentially it winds up being, yep, 3/4 of an inch from the top of the page. Okay. Go figure, I was right the first time. But I still wanted it under. So I'm gonna have to get out a little bit of my repositionable tape just to fix that. My lines again are just a little bit not there. I don't know, that's just when they put some of the extra in, sometimes you wind up not quite as complete on your ruler. There's some other, the other measurements are showing more, if you will. Okay, make sure I have this straight going across. Here we go. Okay, whew. That felt like a lot of work, and I guess really it was. Put just a little bit repositionable up here, and a little bit of repositionable here to help get those to lay flat, but this is also going to help it to lay flat as well. Adding my tape runner, and just a little bit here and there, and of course we want our flamingos up and down, and then I want another 3/4 of an inch, go figure. So here is this, lined up again, and let's see here. I need 1.5 inches from the edge. What do I need? That's 1 inch. There's my half to give me 3/4, and there's my half to give me the 3/4 again. From my left edge, just lining up. I'm using my measurements on my 13 by 13 cutting mat, and now I know I need 4.5 because I have 9 inches. And there's 4.5 on the bottom, and so this way my margin at the end lines up. There we go. Whew. Okay. So we got that done. I survived the stripes. At least I'll be a little more efficient on the other side now. Okay, I have this little signboard that is eventually going to be the title for my page. I'm going to go a little bit closer to this bottom edge with, I have a flower and a flamingo sticker as well. We're going to add just a little bit of tape runner on here. And hang on, let me make sure my flamingo is not going to be covering it too much. My flamingo is going to be hanging out in the bottom here as well. Okay, there we go. There we go. Flamingo's going to be checking out the sign just a bit, and then we have this last little flower that again brings in our color palette, this nice pretty orchid color. Left side of our page is now done. We survived it. Okay, now we need to do the right side of our page. And yeah, this one I kind of went out, I think, a little bit off sketch a little bit. But I think it works out. It still stays true to some of the essence of the sketch, but it's felt like it was a lot less complicated last night when I was just piecing the pieces down, but now that I'm actually having to stick things down, it feels a little bit more complicated, but we'll get there. That's okay. I just need to know I need this one end 3/4 down and 3/4. It was actually easier to place it with the other strip in place, I think. There we go. Okay. So here is this. We're going to bring it down 3/4 and in. That off of there. 1, 2, 3, and 3/4. So this is coming in It was coming in 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. Let's hope this is right. I probably should go back and double check it on my other side, but I think I'm correct. Make sure. Nope, that was in. The end is at 3/4. Okay. There we go. That's a good thing I looked at my other one, right? There is my 3/4 mark right here. Oops. And up and over. Here we go. Okay. Oof. And now 3/4 from the bottom. This one's coming 3/4. And then this one is also coming over 3/4 and centering. So that's 1, 2, and where's my 3/4 right here? And right here. Oops. Got just a hair off on my bottom one because it's popping up a hair. Okay, I need to fix that first. It's a good thing I didn't push down too hard to get that going straight across. And now I can stick my stripes in at, what did I say, 4.5? Yes, 4.5. Okay, here we go. Okay, that went a lot quicker, a lot less headache. Overall, I do need this in now another 3/4. So this is at 1.5. Okay, that 1.5, so I can put down my flamingos next. I almost put my ruler away. I should have known better. Okay, and our flamingos going up and down again. Here we go, and now I do need it centered as well. So 9 inches is the 4.5 again. There we go. Okay. That one seemed to go a lot smoother and quicker than the other side, which, you know, that's okay. We also have our, this is the Life sticker that is going to go up here in this upper corner as well. Again, just repeating that same flower that we had in the bottom left corner. Here is a close-up of this one. And I will bring back in the left side of the page and the sketch real quick. And then I'll show you where photo placement can be. And then if anybody has any questions or comments, I will definitely take a quick look here as well. Okay, so this one, our sketch is here, and it definitely, like, I just felt like it had sort of, you can see where they have this piece kind of coming as a C, I guess, if you will, or yeah, it does look more like a C on this side. So it only partially went through, but then they also had a border coming out. They had the title up here, which is where I put mine, and then a little something extra down here. And I thought, you know, that's a great place for another title or more journaling as well. I also wanted to leave my options open a little bit more. So by doing the 9 inch instead of, I think this is 8 3/4 by 8 3/4. I just widened it just a hair bit more to allow for some of this other. We can do, grab this out again, a couple of 4x6 photos, and you can easily extend it into your stripes as well. And then grab your 4x4 photos. You can even do a 4x3 photo here as well if you want. Scooch it over, scooch it up. Do it as a 3x4 going this way if you want. There's definitely options, and you can of course do more of your 4x4s as well. You can do the same thing on the side. This one, like I said, is definitely more of a mirror than the other one I did earlier. So here's a couple more 4x4 photo mats to show you. You can easily bring it in I just brought it down a little bit more when we had the 4x6s on there to show you something a little bit different. So this one you probably would put your sticker on after and maybe pop it up so you can put your photo under it a little bit more. But you have options for sure with this one as well. And I hope you enjoyed seeing this one with Tropical Garden. We'll go ahead and move into sketch number 3 next. There we go, and I do need to double check comments, so give me a half a second for that, and I'm also going to grab a sip of water too here. Okay, no comments on that one, and now we're going to move into our school days a little bit. Pop up my notes here, and actually for this one I don't need the 13 by 13 mat. I think it's the last one I need it for. So move out my right side of the page, set up my left side of the page here. Here is my sketch. Not a whole lot on it again. Last month I felt like I was writing a journal for everybody. This month it's a little bit simpler. So I did pull out our apple border sticker this time because you can see it works nicely with our other embellishments that are going on the page. My base for my page is going to be this star paper. It does have the lockers on the back. And we have it was the academic paper, and it's the one that has all the writing on it. And it does have the little rounded stickers on the back of it. With this paper, I did cut it so you would be able to actually have the words running the way that they are intended to run when you're reading them, because I know these are 4x6 mats. Our photos are going to cover up most of it, but you are going to see a letter or two or a number when you put your photos on. So I really was trying to be conscientious about that, and I did use both sheets of paper for this, and you do have a little bit of scrap left over. It's one of the things I try not to have too many scraps also. This one I don't have a set margin, so I'm going about a couple of inches up from the bottom of the page, running along the edge here. And even though I have two mats, you can see the seam for them, I am layering them exactly pretty much as they would have been on the page. You could have cut one larger, excuse me, 8x6, so 6 inches this way, 8 inches this way, but I don't mind having the seam here because, like I said, we'll probably likely have 2 photos there. And then we have our photo to the side here that is going to run pretty much along the sight line here as well, with maybe about an inch in between, 1/2 to 3/4 on the left. It really honestly is not as critical. And our sticker is going to run along the top and the bottom. I'm leaving it attached because we are going to cut it right at the edge of the page here. And I could have waited until I got both pages done and then cut it, but you know, of course I thought about it now, but I'm halfway through doing it, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for it and do it. And I am going to run these other apples upside down because I think it looks cute on the thing that way. I like the ruffles, the way they run over the top and bottom. You could use one of your decorative blades on your mats as well, but like I said, I was really focused on keeping things really simple this month, and that's what I really wanted to do. So, okay, if I can get this one to line up, that is. Here we go. Now we're cooking with gas here. Okay. This other one stuck to my finger a little bit. There we go. Not going to stick to the scissors, but it'll stick to your fingers. All right. Take that off of there so we know where we're going on our other side of our paper. And we have our picture day and our apple with our worm. So picture day is a sticker. And our apple with our worm, I think, oops, well then again, maybe it's just going to go on the page here. And it's going to go that way because it's where it went. But you know what, that actually doesn't look too bad. Sorry, I just have to laugh a little bit. It just, you know, sometimes things go where they really want to go. And it does seem to work out. So maybe we'll angle our apple here so that it looks like we're maybe trying to take a photo of our apple coming through our page. And there it is. The left page is done. Can you believe it? Again, just really, really making these way more approachable. Okay, and I'm losing some of my stuff for this side of the page, but that's okay. Bringing in the right side of my page. And we have, again, the same base paper with the stars, with the lockers on the back. 3 more of our mats with the words on them. Now I'm going to have to make sure I line these 2 up to where they're supposed to be, because I think things, when they slid, they got a little bit mixed up, so I will make sure about that. I'm actually going to bring in my other side of the page so I can get these lined up nicely through both pages. And this one, since when you don't measure, you do need to bring in your other page. Yep, that's definitely the bottom of the page, because there was a little bit more of a margin, oops, of blank paper at the top and bottom, and then the words kind of just went through. There we go. Okay, and then this one's running along the sight line in just a little bit, running through here about 1 inch in between and 3/4 from the edge of the page again. There we go. Move that back out of the way. Bring this back in. Oh, I do need to move this one up, sorry. Boy, I am really not doing a great job of watching my directions this month. Okay, that's all right, no big deal. I do have half of one of our 4.5 by 6.5 mats. This is a 3.25 by 4.5. I cut it right in the middle. It's the one that has the same words like what we have in this blue green paper, but they're brown, and then it has the red plaid on the back of it. This one's going up, so let me see if I can pick it up while I still have, and then I'm bringing in our embellishment. That's a calculator and ruler, and I can't even pick those up. So here is this, coming over here and up, pick you up, put you over here. There we go. See if I can fit this under here now and still have it framed out a bit. Yes, okay. You know, I would have to figure out a word for the year. Is it pivot? Maybe it is. I feel like that's my word of the day anyways. I really have had a lot of few things that have changed up. And you just have to pivot just a little bit. And then I also found this large embellishment that was a sheet of notebook paper. And we're going to add this to our clipboard because the little pop of, I don't know, the little pop right down here didn't do it for me as much. And I just liked how this piece of paper looked on here. So that's what we're going with. It looks like the clipboard's holding it still. We have our ruler and our calculator that are going to go down as well. And these two are kind of becoming their own, I don't want to say sticker cluster because they're embellishments, but Oh, this needs to go behind. Okay, so this, oh, you know what, that didn't stick. Oh, right, because I didn't get tape runner on it. Okay. Easily remedied. Let's go ahead and get our border sticker on too before we put our calculator on. It's actually nice to have it ready to go. And don't have to worry about cutting it this time. Do need to worry about trying to line it up at the bottom here again, though, apparently. It's going to become my kryptonite here a little bit. Yeesh. Okay, there we go. Got it. Now we can put our calculator in right around here, and then our ruler I originally thought was going to come this way, but I think it's going to go this other way. So that's going to go in here. This is going to go coming out from under here at a little bit of an angle as well. Okay, sometimes you just have to work with what the page gives you. All right, and our right side of our page is done. How's about that? Whew, I feel like we're going at light speed this time. And here's that. And I will check for questions or comments here in just a second. I'm going to pull out my photo mats again. Most of these are 4x6 mats, so you will need to go a little bit smaller with trimming your photos. So we're going to be more in this 3.5 by 5.5 range for the outside, and what does that become? 5.5 by 3.5 for the middle. Let's see if I can find the rest of those. Here's another one. Now, does that mean you can't put a photo this way? Of course not. Even if you have a 5x7, which I don't have my 5x7 mats yet, I am going to leave this one here just like this to show that you can put a larger photo. You know, maybe you have one of those 5x7 school photos, and that would fit really nicely right there. So again, here is our sketch. You can see we had the two on the outside. We did have a border running a little bit in the top and bottom, title in the top left, journal box in the bottom right. So I didn't exactly do it the exact directions that they had, but close enough, it works. And we have a very nice page that would be perfect for any kids year at school, really. Field trip photos, picture day photos, because we have the picture day sticker on there, but you know what, it doesn't matter really. Any classroom photos will do. And now, last but not least, sketch number 4, no more questions yet. We are going to do our spring equinox collection, and I have opted to do our Fast2Fab inspired pages this month. And I also have a note to self to start on the right side first this time. So I will take away the left side of my page, and we're going to start on the right, which is backwards for what I usually do. But, I know why, because we have a little something at the bottom on the right side here. Okay, here is my sketch again for sketch number 4. And you can see where we're going. This one is, again, super easy. I put my photo mat to cover that because we have on this paper, we have this design already. Essentially, it's the same design that's on the mat, but we're gonna be covering it with the photo, so we're gonna use the design that's actually on the paper. I debated actually putting this one over here, and then I was like, well, no, because once I get a photo onto my mat, you're not going to be able to see the design. So that's where that was why I had the photo mat already on the page, not something I usually do. We are going to be adding this Hello Spring and a little snail, but I want to go ahead and start sticking down mats first. So I have the one with the snail, the same that's on the Fast to Fab page, as Here Comes the Light and the sunshine on it. Spring Rituals with the green moss on it with Gathering Light on the back side of it. And then I have two mats that I cut in half that are 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. These are not the same mat. One has the darker version of the design that's on the edge here, and the other one has some stars. So let me run through with my tape runner real quick first here. Fast to Fabs are so easy to work with, and it's going to be super quick to put this one together as well. Okay, so part of the reason I wanted to do this was I am covering up the little butterfly that's here and part of the fern, but I am going to keep this little roll here as well as there's a leaf, and yes, I will hold it up closer to show you exactly where I'm placing this on my page. Coming up here. I'm still a little bit high, I don't know why. There we go. And then your second match is going to go on top of the first one. So again, this is also kind of following the sketch a little bit closer. I have my note to make the dragonfly be the one on the top here. And my purple ice mat on the bottom right here. So again, following the sketch just a little bit more than what I normally do probably. So this little snail down here is going to be covered with a larger one, and you know what, I think I'm going to just put them straight on the page, get a little bit of repositionable on it, bring in my border mat here again, put this down. Right over our swirl a bit. And then we have our Hello Spring. And again, I'm going to just place this one straight on. Don't know what's going on. I'm not using as many foam squares this month either, but it's okay. Some months are like that. Okay, here is the right side of our page done already. Now, here comes in my left side of my page, making sure I'm not too high for you all. I have an extra butterfly embellishment we're adding. I'm just going to go ahead and put this one on real quick, even before I show you the mats, because I really did want it flowing through here, bringing our butterflies that are on our page. It's a continuation, but bringing it into this little border that they have designed on here. I also did pull a little dragonfly sticker from our sticker pack as well. And then I found this this embellishment in our embellishment pack for this collection. And that we're just going to add, so we have a little extra space for journaling. I also have the mat with the moss and the dragonfly butterfly on it. So this is the turning of the season on the back, and then today's blooms with our rooted in renewal on the back, but it has the same design as what's on the edge of our page as well. So let's get these stuck down. And okay, I need to bring in my other side of the page because I do have a little note where this one is going to be lined up with our other side of our page. So let me grab my right side, and you know what, I'm just gonna probably leave it in. And I will just finish this up because it's really just the two mats embellishment and a sticker we're adding here. Stick that there because I don't know why it throws me off every time I see that other little snail. Okay, our today's blooms is going in and it's going right along the line at the bottom here. So even though things will be separated a little bit, once we get this into our albums, our sight line will not get confused here. It's just going to come across from this bottom corner here, and there we go. Now, this other one I have going about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the page. I'm just going to bring this guy in and try it without the mat under it. But we'll see. Here's 3/4 and going across the 3/4 here. So that's coming down just a little bit, but they are going to be touching also. So follow your sight line here. Okay, that worked out pretty well there too. And now our embellishment is going to come back up just a little bit. Would help if I didn't put it upside down. But that one's just going to stay within our border margins here. Right here. So it has about maybe 1/8 of an inch on each side, the right and left. So it's just a little bit thinner. You can see a little bit of the design on each side of our embellishment. I will hold it up for you all in just a moment, and since I haven't popped up anything else on these pages, I'm just going to go ahead and place this one down, coming from the corner here, as if it's trying to catch up to our little butterflies going through our page. And look how beautiful that turned out with just a few simple additions to our Fast2Fab inspired pages. What do y'all think? Let's add a few other photo mats. Journaling will be here. Our title's already here, so this page is basically all we need are photos. And with that, since we have 4.5 by 6.5 mats, we can do the larger photos here, or I'll show you another option in just a moment. So here's what 4 by 6 photos can look like. Now, of course, it's going to cover up those little dragonfly butterfly there. So if you want a slightly smaller photo on that one, here's what, well, there's a 3.5 by 5.5. So you may even have to go a little bit off script a bit with that one. Or maybe even a 3 by 4 if you want to keep the pretty piece, the pretty design that the designers put onto it. But you know what? Really, your photos are going to be the star, so why not go with a 4 by 6? You have your other butterflies and dragonflies you've already added to your page, so it's up to you. Now over here we can fit in a couple of 3 by 4 photos as well. Find one more here. And there we go. Now it doesn't mean that you can't also add one more up here, because we do have a little more space. Now, is that on the sketch? No, but they also have 4 by 4 photos, and I enlarged them. I did the larger mats to make life easier, so it's up to you. You can easily, like I said, fit one more photo up there, or you can just leave the design on the page if you want. Either way will work. It depends on how many photos you have that you would like to get on to these pages as well. So let me go ahead and close things out here. And let's see here. Hopefully I got that right. I am still here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you that popped in and stuck with me. I need to see if there's no other comments or chat or questions in the chat for me today, but feel free to leave me a comment afterwards if you have any questions on anything that I've done here today. And I hope that you all will continue to vote in the polls each month. I really do enjoy doing these virtual crop sketches and showing you all some different ideas of how you can interpret the sketches. And I will have, if I can get it done, edited in time, a video answering a viewer question that should be coming out tomorrow. I had meant for it to come out on Thursday, however, I got my days a little bit mixed up this week, so hopefully it'll come out tomorrow. And then I have quite a few other shorts filmed showing off some more of the new tools that have come out recently. So stay tuned for all that on my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Thank you to those who already have and keep coming back month after month to watch. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you in the next video.